What's up, guys? It's the Insane Game Freak here. How y'all doing? So E3 is over. It's been about a week. Everyone's, I think, properly recovered. I wouldn't say this E3 was flat out amazing, but you know, it was still some stuff to look forward to. There were some games announced, some cool things shown off. So it wasn't like it was a bad E3 overall. I just wasn't super blown back by it. And I think the general consensus is that Microsoft did very well. Even if a lot of people would just say they won. I think I've heard that more than anything, and I'm more inclined to agree with that statement. But even if you don't think they won, most people said they did relatively well, right? But my concern and my question is, what is Microsoft's problem? Because even though I heard a lot of people give them praise, a lot of people either who gave them praise already have an Xbox One or still have no intention of buying it. And so the issue then becomes, well, what's the problem? Because it's not like they're not showing you games. It's not like the console doesn't have features. It's not even like you don't have the best possible quality output on a console in their arsenal. You have the Xbox One X. So what's the problem? And it's hard because when you rack your brain, and to be fair about it, I mean, I dig at Xbox a lot because I personally don't have any fucks to give about them. And so I'm sitting there trying to figure out, well, what's the problem? Because other people aren't like me innately. So is it just people have no faith? And I had to sit there and rack my brain, but I was like, okay, so what's the issue? Because they have the third-party games. They're getting most of the bigger Japanese titles. I think the only thing they're not getting is some of the niche Japanese titles, but most of the big ones they are getting. So it's not even like you're missing out on that. And they have quality Xbox Live Gold support. And you have a quality, like, they're not looking at the console in itself, it's not a bad console. Backwards compatibility, 4K HDR on some of their games that support it. Even some games that don't support it at least get some level of a boost. In Xbox Game Pass, you got all these pro-consumer things going on, but the consoles still aren't flying out the shelves. To this point, the Switch is doing better than them. A console that is severely less in almost every way, except for probably one aspect, and that's exclusives. Now, I've been saying that exclusives matter, but do they matter to that extent? And I think part of it isn't that they matter to that extent. It's just that I think Xbox's biggest problem is that it doesn't bring a lot of faith to the fan base. A lot of people said, oh, but look, they talked about the 5 development studios that they acquired. And when you and on paper, that's cool. It's like, all right, they're looking towards the future. They're finally focusing. And then you realize, as you start picking apart those 5 developers they mentioned, that one of them develops the Forza Horizon games, which is one of those, you didn't already own that fucking studio moment. It also tells me the only thing you need to look forward to is more Forza Horizon games. Like, we were fucking shocked if we weren't going to get those. The second one is the State of Decay 2 developers. Another one of those, you don't already have these fucking developers? You're telling me these guys haven't even been working for you? So at most, oh, well, we might get another State of Decay game. And the other thing that you people need to realize is just with those two in themselves, that tells me that, one, the next Forza Horizon game isn't out yet. And then State of Decay 2 just came out, which have had some bugs and glitches. So don't expect anything new from these two anytime soon. At most, you might get another Horizon. I keep combining that word. Forza Horizon game, probably within another year or two. And then State of Decay 2, I don't think they're expecting anything major from them for at least another 2 years. So 2 of those developers don't mean anything. Now Ninja Theory, that's like your one bright spot. And then the other one was the We Happy Few developer. Guess what? Another game that isn't out yet, which is weird as fuck because We Happy Few has been, I think, talked about at least for like 2 to 3 years at this point. And I'm more baffled that that game isn't already out. But whoop-de-doo. It's another fucking developer who's still working on a game right now. So once again, okay, cool, you bought them, but it won't mean anything. Hell, we don't even know if We Happy Few is a good game. So how do we know it's even a quality developer? State of Decay 2 doesn't seem that promising considering how glitchy the fucking game is. So it's like, oh, you bought him, congratulations. But once again, we won't see anything from him for like another, what, 2 years probably? Or knowing their fucking development cycle, like 3 or 4 years. There's not a lot of confidence there. And then the fifth one, I think, is just another one that's fine. I don't know too much about it. I don't even remember their name. But the point I'm making is, that doesn't make me hopeful for the future when some of these developers you should have already had. I'm more bad. I think when I put it this way, when I realize, when I find out what the developers have done, and my first thought is, shit, you didn't already have these guys? That's not a good sign. That tells me that more than likely, this is you just playing catch up still. And I think the core, and like I said before, I think it's just that the consumer doesn't have a lot of confidence in Xbox as a brand. Here's the reason why. The Play Anywhere initiative is cool. It's very pro-consumer, but it also shows how scared you are of your own, of people, how not confident you are about your own product. Because think about it. If I'm an Xbox gamer, why the fuck would I care about playing on a PC? The Play Anywhere initiative is not that big of a deal for me because I would have to not only own an Xbox, but a gaming rig or a rig good enough to play some of these games on PC. So why the fuck would I care? Why would I care that I could play Forza on PC if I primarily play on console? Unless you're not aiming for the Xbox gamer, you're aiming for the PC gamer that you know you'll never get. So let me just throw this out on the PC so you can grab it. Because if anything, the logical conclusion a lot of people end up coming into is like, well, wait a minute. If the PC will play all these games better, wouldn't it, and I have the Play Anywhere initiative anyway, wouldn't it make more sense just for me to build my own PC? And the short answer is, if you're only an Xbox gamer, yeah, it would make more sense. Why the fuck would you spend money on Xbox One when you could spend more on a PC that you can do more shit on and play your games at a higher fidelity or higher frame rate or whatever the fuck? See, it doesn't make any sense. Sure, it's pro-consumer, but it doesn't really serve a purpose unless you're just trying to tell me that, yeah, you don't invest so much into Xbox's physical ecosystem because we know that we can't keep you. The other issue is the exclusive front. And it's not like it hasn't been shown to Xbox that people give a fuck about exclusives. If you want to ignore the accomplishments of Sony and Nintendo, that's whatever. Sea of Thieves did well when it launched. State of Decay 2 did well when it launched. It's not like we don't get... And obviously they're starting to figure that out with the whole push of 3 Gears games, a Halo game, Battletoads. They're starting to figure it out, but it's so fucking late into the generation. Side note, this will be another fucking Halo game on the X. Now, granted, and I've always thought this was, I think Sony has an issue with this too, pushing out so many sequels to one particular game within the same generation. Because Gear, I think by the time we're done, Gear, there will be like, what, four Gear games on the Xbox One, which is what, Gears of War, what are we on? Gears of War 4? Well, this is 5, I believe, so 4. You had Gears of War 4, you had the Gears of War Collection, you had the Gears of War 5, and now you have Gears of War Tactics. Because the pop game is a mobile game. And it's like, Jesus Christ, you're going to oversaturate the fuck out of these, out of this IP. And it's already kind of gotten pretty oversaturated as it is. You are going to bury it. It's going to be like, man, every time I walk into an Xbox store, all I taste is Gears. It's ridiculous. Battletoads is a nice kind of mid-ground game, but you show nothing of it, so it's like people's excitement for it is pretty, it's cool based off of the name alone, but that's literally all it is, because you can't, and I think that's an issue. It's like, oh, well, look, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that Sony likes to keep trading in its IPs every damn generation, where you'll get like these string of new games, and only a few of them will make it over to the next console. I don't know why Sony does that, I don't agree. But Xbox, you don't have that many IPs to begin with. Why not do that? Why not just make brand new IPs? And it wasn't like they hadn't tried. But once again, it was one of those, you put the game out, it did okay, and then, oh, well, I guess I'll put it on Steam now. And it's just like, what? And then once again, Crackdown 3 is delayed again. And you're just like, why? Even of the damn games they announced, which one of those are coming out this year? We're still waiting. And the other thing is this. Most Xbox One exclusive games, like when Phil went out there and said, we have 18 games with exclusivity. Yeah, but most of those will come to either PlayStation or PC. If it's not already on PC, and it'll probably come to PlayStation too. Like I have no doubt in my mind that at some point Cuphead will end up on PlayStation. There's like no doubt in my mind that will happen. Even Sunset Overdrive, I have no doubt in my mind eventually that's going to end up at least on PC, at the very least. And the reason why is because I've been conditioned to believe this. And some people don't understand when I say that. Xbox has consistently, especially I think the 360 generation was when it started. And people thought, oh, well, what's the problem? People going to the Xbox One going, why do we keep losing all these exclusives to Sony? Because they were losing them to Sony at the end of the 360 generation. People don't remember that those huge chunk of exclusives like Mass Effect and BioShock and the like, they lost to Sony, and then Sony took them, and then they ended up making more money on Sony platforms. And then essentially we went to Xbox One, and the same thing happened. Almost the same thing. Oh, we got Tomb Raider, guys, because you got Uncharted. We got Tomb Raider, and Sony was like, "Now we have Tomb Raider." like that's what tripped me out. It was like, guys, the reason why I buy your console is to get an experience I can't get anywhere else. The only experience you're currently offering that's like that is Xbox Live Gold. Whoop de fucking do. And it was like, guys, come on, you literally. At least keep the game for the majority. This is worse than the 360. The 360 at least kept games until towards the end of the generation. These guys couldn't even keep it for like a year. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider they had for like a year. I think it was like a year or so. And see, when people know that, when I know that I can get this on another platform and more than likely my preferred platform in like a year, some people just wait it out. They'll wait it out and buy it. And as you can see, shout out to Tomb Raider. Oh, that's multi-platform. I wonder why. It's like, and it's not just that game, but I'm just using that as an example. Microsoft has never been good, or hasn't been good in the last, like, decade about keeping fucking exclusives. So, no one fucking believes when they talk about exclusive games on Xbox that means anything. If you really wanted to, hell, when they tried to make that push last year, we were like, but guys, these games are on Windows 10. Some of these games are on fucking Steam. And some of these games will be on PlayStation soon. I have no reason to invest into a fucking Xbox ecosystem knowing that I don't need the Xbox. I could be playing Xbox games on Steam and I'd be better for it. Because I would have a more powerful console to run the shit. And I think that's the core. And then the other thing, the last thing I'm going to mention, is the Japanese games. Now I understand this is not the majority, and they do get a lot of the high-tiered Japanese titles. You know, Nier, Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts. Cool. Final Fantasy 15. Cool. That's fine. They get all the higher-profile Japanese games. But it trips me out how people can bust Nintendo out for not getting enough third-party games, but people don't want to bust fucking Microsoft out for not getting enough Japanese support. And it's not like they don't have any, just like it isn't like Nintendo doesn't have any third-party support. But they don't even get some of the small titles. I think, for example, I think this guy has never been on an Xbox system, or at least not recently. Like, Disgaea 5 came out on the Switch before it came out on Xbox, if I remember correctly. And it's like, guys, I understand that these games are niche, but you'd be surprised how many niche fan bases make up this, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 million user install base you have. And I don't understand why it's okay for, and some people say, oh, but they've made the effort to get more Japanese support. Just like they've made more effort into making the games interesting to play in Japan. No, because people still don't buy that fucking console in Japan. And some people say, oh, that's because they're more about the mobile market. Sony still does relatively well in Japan. Sony doesn't do as well as Nintendo's been doing lately. But even before, like, if you ignored the Switch and looked at the Wii U, Nintendo and Sony do relatively well in Japan. And it's not just because they're Japanese companies. It's because they have the kind of games that people want to play. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense that I'm sitting here with an Xbox One and there are just certain niche titles I can't play. It's like the opposite of Nintendo's problem. Okay, fine, Nintendo's console can't run some of these bigger, heftier games without making serious compromises. That's why they wouldn't come out day and date. That's why they wouldn't look the same or have the same features, right? It's perfectly fine. Microsoft is literally just an issue of, guys, we know the game can run fine on here, and in some cases they can run better because of the Xbox One X power. So what's the issue? It's not important. So if I had to sit here and give you an answer to why Xbox is in the situation it's in, it's because they have failed in keeping up with consumer confidence. When I look at Microsoft and I even look at all their initiatives, the only thing I get out of all those things is that they're not confident enough in their product. That's why you have a Play Anywhere function. That doesn't benefit anybody. That benefits the consumer, but once again, unless you're already someone who plays on PC, why the fuck would it matter? I think the PC gamer gets the most out of that. The Xbox gamer probably won't give a fuck because they're playing on Xbox. If you're playing on Xbox, you have no real need to get on the PC unless you just happen to have one. In which case, if you only own an Xbox and a PC, why the fuck would you do that? Why wouldn't you just beef up the PC and use it like a console? But whatever. That's just me personally. And it's one of those things why I would say I'm sad about it, and to a degree I am, but more so because you're a fucking console manufacturer that I almost feel like doesn't even justify their own existence. And like I said, it's not like they don't have good things about their system or good pros to owning an Xbox console. There are definitely advantages to owning an Xbox console, but there's no reason to. I guess that's the problem. It's not that there aren't advantages to owning Xbox, there's just no reason to own an Xbox. Unless you care about those 3 IPs, which most people are either done with, or don't care enough, or isn't a big enough deal. Like when you, in a year in which, in the last 2 years, when you compare what God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man that comes out, the Uncharted DLC, the Horizon DLC, Detroit Become Human, all this other shit, and then you got what, Legend of Zelda, Mario Odyssey, even Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, fucking new Splatoon 2, ARMS. You know, when you got all these little games coming out, and then Xbox's major success stories is what, Cuphead, State of Decay 2, which is a glitchy fucking mess, Sea of Thieves, which wasn't a finished fucking game, and then Crackdown 3 getting delayed again. It's like, guys. Also, I just feel like people don't give them enough shit on that, because people got mad at Nintendo for re-showing certain IPs again in 2015. 2015 was that E3 that showed like X and Yoshi, and there were like a bunch of other, and there was a few other games that we have seen since 2013 that hadn't come out yet. But people don't give Sony and Microsoft shit for that either. Remember, Microsoft's been showing Crackdown 3 at least since 2014. It's been at least 4 years. 3 to 4 years. That's insane. And I'm not giving fucking Sony any credit either, because like I said in my other video, Death Stranding this is the 3rd fucking year we've seen Death Stranding. It's ridiculous. Same thing goes for Last of Us. We keep seeing those games. When are they going to come out? Nobody knows. That was a little side rant. But that's just my whole thing. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on the subject. That Xbox, even when Xbox has a good E3, they still kind of lose because I don't want to go buy their console. Because like I said in my other video, if the major response I'm seeing is that, oh, Microsoft had a great E3, still don't have any real reason to buy their console, it's not a good E3 to me. That's like a mediocre E3. That just means people recognized what you did, but didn't really want to, but don't think you're still not worth the financial investment. It's kind of like getting praised by your teacher, but still getting like a C. It's like, yeah, okay, you did well for you, but when the goal is to do well in general, how much praise can you really get for that? Do you deserve for that? So I don't know. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. This video might have been a little bit rambling off topic. I apologize. It's Sunday, and I'm trying to get over the crushing reality that I have to work tomorrow, so. Anywho, last game, play to win, and I will catch you guys later. Peace. Oh.